Hey everybody, it's Sarina Fazan, and thank you so much for joining us. It's Wednesday, my absolute favorite day, because we're going on the record. And I have Jeff Gigante. Now, did I pronounce your last name right?
You did.
Okay.
You know what? As long as you call me, I don't care what you call me. Gigante, it's all good.
But what is it? What is the true proper
So I
pronunciation?
always pronounce it Gigante.
Gigante, okay.
And so, but everyone down here wants to say Gigante.
Yes.
So they make it sound a little more important, so I like it.
Well, okay, I have known you for years, but what an honor it is for you to be in here today. Jeff is the owner of Forbici and Next Level Brands.
Correct.
But there's so much more to his story. He spoke for the Jim Moran Institute, and thank you for speaking.
Florida State, go
Florida
Noles.
State,
That's
yes,
right.
Florida State. And the story of entrepreneurship. I love this story. Ever since you have shared this story, I've been sharing it with so many people, and I thought, no, he needs to be on the show. So, Jeff, I have to say, though, since you have known me for a long time, what did you think of the, the dream it, shoot it, stream it?
I absolutely love this. I think that this is just a complete natural evolution for you. I've always thought that you were one of our biggest and brightest news personalities.
Oh, thank you.
Very sad when you chose to go off air, but now I'm so happy to see where you've landed in these amazing studios and doing, telling people's stories, because that's really what life's all about, is telling stories and letting people be benefited by that, and it can help people on their journey. So I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh,
I was
absolutely.
honored to speak for Jim Moran Institute and my alma mater, Florida State, and to tell my story to some other great entrepreneurs along their path. And I've had so many of them reach out to me after that. And I'm setting meetings with them. And so for me, that's really a biggest part of my legacy journey, is to kind of give back and to help people that are starting on their trek to find their footing on their path of entrepreneurship.
Well, trust me, beyond the show, I am also going to be setting a meeting with you.
Come on, bring it on.
That speech.
I've got a few ideas for you. I think that
Really?
would probably really take foot for you. Yeah?
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, I've always admired you, always looked up to you. So my show, On the Record,
Yes.
right? It has many subcategories. Love in America, Dating in America.
Yes. I've been watching. I've seen them. They're good.
But
Right.
one of the most popular ones are the business spotlight.
Sure.
And speaking to entrepreneurs, and quite frankly, honestly, sometimes I'll have two people in here. But because your story is so good, and I'm sure people are like, Serene, just get to the story already.
Right.
I wanted you here all to ourselves.
Okay, well,
to talk
I'm
about
happy
it.
to be here,
Okay.
and I'm happy to give everything that I can to this. It's been quite a 18-month period for small businesses across the world. So it's been super challenging, but also for me, there's been tremendous value found to kind of dig your heels in and to be able to pivot and be flexible and nimble in times like these. So we've learned a ton, and our team have become huge disciples of how we handled the whole shutdown and really how we pivoted and really just kind of cementing our culture. Because we're a new, Next Level Brands is brand new.
Yes.
Before that, it was Gigante Hospitality that actually launched Forbici. But as you know, I came from Chicho Restaurant Group. We built an amazing company with 20 some odd restaurants, 1,500 employees. So, always starting that kind of culture has been huge ethos for me in business. And so I'm super proud to be able to be doing it for myself now.
And what a great example you're setting, for your kids. We have Sammy in the
Sure,
house today.
Sammy's
My gosh,
awesome.
it's like,
I
she's my
remember her from
14-year-old.
just a little tiny toddler. She's this young, beautiful lady.
Thank you.
And she's, I was talking to her earlier. I was like, do you like to be? She was like, no, that's my mom's deal. It's not really for me. But she's got it all.
Well, thank you, and you're always so
Sure.
kind. You're always so kind to everybody that you meet, and I appreciate that so much. So I definitely want to talk to you about pivoting and how you did that, but I want to begin with your personal story when you were a little boy.
Yes.
So tell us, at what age did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? I love this story.
So try not to date myself with a year, because Sammy might fall out of her chair. But when I was 9/10, me and my childhood best friend, I'll never forget, we had this crazy idea, and it just kind of came to us. We lived in a little condo association on the side of a golf course, and we would go play like manhunt over there, hop the fence. So we'd be in like the back area of the golf course, and we found tons of golf balls everywhere. And, I remember him saying to me, he's like, God, these golfers are not very good. The course is over there. These are over here. So we said, well, I wonder if we just like one morning early got up and scoured this entire golf course before they actually got there. So we did that. That was a Friday after school. So the next morning, Saturday, we went and early, first thing in the morning, I remember him throwing rocks at my window. I got out and, wore all my grungiest up because, you're walking along kind of the shoreline and the swamps of the mangroves. And so we gathered, must be 400 or 500 golf balls. So we had them in our wagon, and actually we used pillow sacks, which my mom would kill me, but So we took them back and we polished them up, and we've got all these beautiful golf balls, and we were thinking, well, what are we going to do with these? And he's like, well, let's take them to the golf course and try to go to the clubhouse and sell them. I was like, I don't think that they're going to. These came from their golf course. So I said, so then it hit me. I was like, why don't we hop the fence by this hole, which was like right by our houses. And, they had a bathroom there where the guys could take breaks. And let's set up a little shop and sell these golf balls to the golfers. They're obviously terrible. They need golf balls. And so I thought about this. And so I'm trying to think, at a young age, how do we create maximum value? Well, they'll be hot. It's hot, right? Summer in Florida. So I begged my mom to go to Publix and buy us, 4 or 5 cases of Czech soda.
Okay, this is hilarious.
Yes,
And your mom's a single mom,
yes,
right?
Single mom, and she's like, absolutely, what's this for? I was like, don't worry, I've got a plan. She's like, well, you'll be paying me back for these. I was like, no problem, I got you.
And I love this part too. So here you are, so savvy at that age. You chose Czech cola though.
Yes, because it was cheap. It was cheap. It was, we couldn't afford actual Pepsi or Coke at that time. I knew that, I wanted to keep my costs down, which ends up being a very great, solid business practice. Buy low, sell high. So we ended up selling, you could get 3 golf balls and a soda for $3, or 6 golf balls and a soda for $5. That was my idea. And everybody had 5, so we ended up selling out of the $5 deal. So I became president of that young company because it was my idea. But so we did that for probably several weekends until sadly our own pandemic at that time, which was the Rangers, discovered us, came over and gave us guys, you can't do this. And we're like, oh, no, we can do it. It's great. We do it every day. We sell out. And they're like, no, it's against the law. This is a private golf course and it's our property. So those are our balls. So you guys can leave, or we can call the police and have them deal with it. And so we just left everything. And so that was the end of that company. But I was bit by the bug at that early age.
That's what I was going to say. But it was the end of that company, but the start.
The start
right?
for me of understanding the merchant process of sales. Like if you had a product and you could market it, tell the story of it, create value, you could exchange that for currency. Currency to me was, I was buying my own skateboards, I had the best sneakers, and I was loaning money to my older sister at 10%. Like, it was in my mindset, that gave me freedom. So, and I just remember having conversations with my mom, and she'd be upset because, I was going to a local parochial Catholic school, and constantly, back in the day, they were run by priests and nuns. Well, the nuns didn't understand commerce like I thought about commerce. So they were constantly trying to confiscate I was doing cinnamon toothpicks, spearmint toothpicks, like whatever I could do. My mom would take me to Costco and we would get all of the sour warheads and, but I was making $10 to $20 a day in school.
Wow.
And so, when I was not doing great in grades, my mom would be like, listen, I was like, Ma, I'm making more pro rata than the teachers are right now. I'm going to be just fine. she still instilled in us that you had to have good grades and you had to at least apply yourself. And so for me, at a very young age, I understood the entrepreneurial spirit and to always, if you could, work for yourself. And it just stuck with me.
Wow. And so, okay, so
fast forward to go through high school, I worked all the way through, really every part of my life I was working. I was a assistant manager for a formal wear company at 17 years old, worked at a Lemon Tree Health Spa. I'm dating myself, but so my senior year of college, I'm with my best friend, we're there, and we see these guys opening up a little tiny pizza joint. It was Gumby's Pizza, and it was their second location. The first one was at Florida, and I saw them open this, and we were watching, and I went in there, and I was like, just kind of asking questions of the younger employees. And I think I got one of the partners, and he's like, yeah, we did this at Florida. We're doing it here. We're going to do them at all the college campuses. We're doing like $15,000 a week in sales. I was like, wow, that sounds like a lot.
Well, I mean, pizza, college kids.
Yeah, this is 19,
right.
Late 80s. And so I was like, well, these guys don't have anything on us. So I went to my buddy and I was like, we need to do this. We can open up, we'll do like an authentic version, like an Italian version, because Gumby's was like, you remember Gumby?
Yeah.
From Saturday Night Live? I'm Gumby, damn. And so that's what their whole thing was. I was like, that's kind of corny, although it ended up being a great business for them. But we ended up going to one of our wealthier friends from high school and borrowing money and opened up our own pizzeria. And we had 20 drivers on Friday and Saturday nights. I mean, it ended up working out really well. And again, lots of life lessons. You got to learn to choose your partners properly and make sure that they're strong where you're weak and you're strong where they're weak and all of those things. And so that was a short-lived business. I ended up moving to New York because that was really, I was going to go be an actor. And so that was my whole dream was, I'm going to open this restaurant. It's going to pay me $500 a month so I don't have to hustle so hard in New York. Well, I think I got 1 to 2 checks. And by the time the third check, I called to go, hey, this check bounced, and the phone was disconnected. Wow. So, the partners I left behind didn't have the same ethos or mindset or value set that I did on, look, this can't fail. We have to. And we had challenges along the way where I saw that I had a little different makeup constitutionally than they did. And not saying that I was better than, they've gone on to live successful lives and it's all well and good. But for me, I could never dream of borrowing money from somebody and then losing it and not paying that back. So I ended up paying that money back. Luckily, he split that investment down the middle for me and my partner, so I paid my part back. I'm not sure on my partner, but a lot of these were foundational lessons for me. People are going to bet on you. You've got to be worth betting on. And so integrity and my value system and my honesty was very huge for me. And, I just hustled my butt off and ended up working for the Lanza family in New York City. And they had, 3 or 4 or 5 of the hottest restaurants in the city. And my co-founder of CRG took a bet on me because, again, I pitched it. It was all my story. Wow. I've got all these friends. They're graduating college. They're doctors and lawyers. A lot of it was BS, but they were going on. But I sold myself. I said, I want to take and do an offshoot of this Chicho and Tony's down in Tampa. Tampa's on the come. We're building a new stadium. We've got all this great momentum happening. And this can be a nice investment for you. I've saved X amount of dollars. I need X amount of dollars from you. I'm going to bring Y amount of money from my family and friends in the area. So I'll have some investment into the actual company. And, it'll be a nice respite for you to come down during the cold winters of New York. You can come down and see your place. And so he was supposed to come down for only 3 months. 25 years later, he never left. So, and I'm no longer affiliated with CRG, and I'm super happy and proud for them. And I've never been more excited about hospitality in my life than I am right now.
And you have built, you helped build the Ciccio Restaurant Group to
Oh
where
yeah, we
to
built
where it
all the
huge.
concepts, and yeah, I just left two years ago.
Oh my gosh! So before we go to the break, and when we come back after the break, I want to talk to you about what you're doing now with Next Level Brands.
Sure.
And also, words of advice for young kids out there.
Absolutely.
But before we go to the break, because I had the honor and the privilege to listen to the whole story,
Yes.
and I, with you, Jeff, feel failure is not an option.
Correct.
You find a way to fix it. Tell us, because you shared part of the pizza story, right?
Yes.
But the pizza maker,
Yes.
correct, had to go back to Italy.
Our whole thing was my partner and I, again, strengths where you were weak. I never made pizza before, so my partner's father was a restaurateur right from Italy and had several successful restaurants. So our whole goal was, we're gonna borrow the money, we're gonna build the place out. 2 weeks before we open, he's gonna come and teach us, handhold us how to make the pizza, the dough, the sauce, the vegetables, the chicken, all that stuff. So we get to 2 or 3 weeks before we open, I'm like, okay, I'm ready, call your dad. He comes back with this ashen look on his face. I'm like, that's not a good look, bro.
I have
What's
goosebumps
that?
even now.
And he's like, my dad was deported to Italy last week. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, there was some problem with his papers and he's got to figure it out, but we don't have him. So this is pre-smartphones. Phones were actually pretty stupid back then. So there was no internet, there was no Google, there was nothing. You wanted to learn to make something, you went to the library, checked out a book, and learned. So I'm like, are there phones in Italy? And he, because he was like, we gave it our best shot. Like, here we are, 2 weeks from opening, spent all the money, and now in his mindset, he was like, what are we gonna do?
Okay, so he says, we gave it our best shot.
Yeah,
okay,
we did it. Let's just move on to the next thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
And then what did you do? That's when you
I
said, are there phones in?
Where's he staying in Italy? Oh, at my Aunt Glinda's. Okay, well, do they have a phone there? Yes, get the number. And we stayed up 7 hours that night on the phone and learned how to make the dough, learned how to make the sauce, learned how to do all of that. It was like a $600 phone bill at the time, but it was worth every penny because we were taught. And that to me is entrepreneurship. Like, you had a failure, an objection come up. Some people at that time are like, yeah, it's just too hard. Success is getting up one more time that failure knocks you down.
I love it. Okay, with that, guys, we're gonna go to the break and we'll be right back. I'm Sarina Fazan. We're all so busy, and if you're like me, laundry is at the bottom of your to-do list.
If only you could take care of it in a zip, right? Well, I have news for you. With Zips Dry Cleaners in South Tampa, you can. Affordable, fast, and stress-free. That's why Zips is Tampa's favorite dry cleaners. For just 99 cents a pound, Zips will wash and fold your laundry for you. Just drop off your dirty laundry before 9 a.m. and you'll have it back, fresh and clean, the very next day. Have dry cleaning too? Drop it off by 9 a.m. and it will be ready the same day by 5 p.m. for just $2.49 an item.
And even more convenient, Zips will drop off your dry cleaning and your laundry for a small added fee. Zips didn't invent dry cleaning, but they perfected it. Stop by and see for yourself. I'm Sarina Fazan, and like most people, my skin is a priority. When you look good, you feel good. That's why I turned to South Tampa Dermatology, a full-service medical and cosmetic dermatology practice. Dr. Flynn and her dream team offer the products, services, and procedures I need to keep my skin healthy so I can perform at my very best, and they can do the very same thing for you. It's affordable, and your confidence is priceless. Just head to stderm.com or call 813-872-9551 to make an appointment. Okay, guys, welcome back. Isn't this such a fun show?
Love it. I'm enjoying myself. It's good.
Jeff, so my little 14-year-old Sammy is in here. What did you just ask her during the commercial break?
I'm asking her, is there good energy? Are you feeling this? And she was very kind and obliged us with the, yes, it's good. Now, can I get back to my
phone?
Right. Instagram.
There is so
or TikTok,
much,
probably. I don't know.
TikTok.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, TikTok.
Yes,
it's like,
gotta be.
oh my gosh. I had on my show, speaking of TikTok, the #1 environmental TikToker in the world.
Really?
Or in the nation, actually, in the nation. He was on the show about, trash Colin. So we launched my TikTok then, and he's like, come on, guys. The goal is to at least be able to get her 20 people. I think we got 30.
Awesome. That's great. That's probably about 20 more than I have. So that's great. That's awesome.
There is, I'm sorry to interrupt you, there is so much I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
And the reason why I love this show so much is, there's not a set time. It's unscripted, unedited. I didn't give you any questions beforehand. We just talk.
Off the cuff.
Yeah, off the cuff.
Off the record.
Off the record, off the cuff.
Is it on the record?
It's on the record.
Oh, it's on the record. Okay.
When something is off the record, that means you can't share it.
That's right. Oh, no. So we're on the record for sure.
We are on the record. So. And I was telling you at the beginning of the show how I have many sub-series, right? One of the sub-series, too, is inspiring women and they share. I had Judge Michelle Cisco on, President Rita Pilot Bank, Rita Loman on, who I know you both.
I love Rita.
Yeah,
yes,
you know both
awesome.
of them. We brought Michelle.
Well, there's so
Forbici.
many great women in town that are doing really remarkable things in business. So I love that you highlight that. I think that you're just such one of our, natural talented storytellers. So I love that you tell all these different types of stories.
Well, thank you. I so appreciate that.
No, it's true.
Well, the reason why I mentioned that, though, is that you are, so oftentimes when I have these women, I say, speak to young girls, but you are the most inspiring man.
Oh,
you are.
Appreciate
so
that.
I want to get into what you're doing now, but before we get into that, the story with young boys, and your mom, and
single mom, high school educated, worked her whole life, 2 jobs, and she literally was the hardest working person that I ever met, and she was the most gregarious, charismatic people person. And I learned, I would just watch as she would entertain a room. And it was something that just gave me chills to see it. It was so natural and so authentic and genuine. It was like she was never trying, but she was always on. And I've been blessed with some of that great energy. My sister has it as well. And, I've just kind of rode that horse home.
And it's wonderful. And tell us the story then. Your beautiful wife, Erica. Oh my gosh,
love
right?
Of my
yeah,
life.
love of your life. And when you're talking about your 2 amazing kids.
Yes, Cyril and Isabel.
Yeah. And so, like how you said when you were in school, like, of course, you graduated and everything. And we all know that college may not be for everybody. But the whole story of, like, you knew you were going to be okay. And you're a very strong entrepreneur.
Yes.
So what would you say to young boys out there, that maybe, school isn't their #1 thing, and to the parents out there of young boys like that?
I give a lot of my time back to our local universities. I'm an entrepreneur in residence at University of Tampa, and I speak adjunctly at USF. And I'm gonna, hopefully, thanks to you, I'm going to start doing a little bit more with FSU, although
great.
It is 5 hours away.
But it's your alma mater.
It is my alma mater, and I want to get back there. But I try to target kids that were like me because I was a C student at best. And when I say C, I mean I had a few C's. I had a few of the other. So I was not a great student, but I had no lack of confidence, meaning that if I bet on myself, things always ended up coming out great for me. And so when I learned this whole sales deal and I could make money and have money to, buy things and help pay for what I needed, because my mom worked her butt off, but we never had an abundance of money. And yet I never felt that we were poor. We discount shopped. But I didn't know anything different than that. But my mom, she did everything she could to give us an amazing foundation. But she instilled my sister and I at a very young age saying, listen, it's your work ethic and it's your relationship skills that are going to make all the difference for you in life. If you can learn how to make great contacts and turn those contacts into friends, you're never going to be alone. And if you show up to work early, and you leave the latest and you outwork everybody in the room, you'll have no other, the bosses there will have no other choice but to raise you up, and you'll end up becoming the boss. And those words I live by, and it's true. And so I tell everybody, and all these college kids and young kids, and I'm starting to speak to a few high schools, is that it's truly your work ethic. It's how you show up that means everything. Some people have great educations and Ivy League educations and private school and all of these things, but it's truly your character that drives your success. And that's why with entrepreneurship, you have to really understand and at least be okay with failure being a bigger part of that journey than success. Now, you'll find the success, but you'll romanticize the failures.
Right.
And as I said, success is just standing up one more time that failure knocked you down. And at the end of it, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so what I love is with the college kids that I get up there and I talk about my failures and I talk about the struggles and when you wanted to quit and all these things, because again, truly successful people have way more failures than they have successes.
That is so true.
That's just the facts of the matter. So I want the younger generations to know it's okay to fail and fail often and fail hard. As long as you continue to forge ahead, you will get to the promised land. But you'll see, the journey and what life is made up to is actually the journey. And a lot of those struggle points are the points that you look back and go, God, I remember when I didn't know if I was going to make it and I didn't know where the next check was going to come in. Just having faith that, you're doing everything you can, you're on the right path, and seek out other people in your business and the landscape. And that's why I tell a lot of the kids is that, find what you want to do, look in your general area and see people that are crushing it or successful in that area and seek them out. Ask them if you can buy them a Starbucks. But when you do get that opportunity, because most of the times you will, don't just talk about their successes. Ask them, when did they want to quit? When was it so tough that you didn't want to do it anymore? You were rethinking your life. When did that happen? And then what did you do? Because those are the pearls that show why that person's successessful. And we all have them. I know you've had them.
Mm-hmm. Several.
Yep,
yeah.
Absolutely. And look, you're doing better than ever.
You're
doing better than ever. As you look out during Super Bowl, all you see is Sarina coming to you live. I'm on the field. I was waiting for you to be playing catch with Tom Brady. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, let's put it out in the universe.
Yes.
Tom Brady on the
Tom,
show.
I want you to come play catch with
yes,
Sarina.
let's put it
without like a multi-million-dollar donation to the foundation.
Right, right. Let's get you on the record.
Yes.
So Jeff, okay, so the last very part of the show, of course, speaking of passion, everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Here you are with CRG, extremely successful.
Yes.
And I do
Blessed.
love this story though. Your wife said to you, Erica said to you, yes, you are extremely successful. All these restaurants are opening, but you were missing what you love the most.
Yeah, one morning at breakfast, she just looked at me and she goes, so you're not happy? I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm very defensive because she's 100% right all the time. And it's extremely annoying when women are like, and she's just like, she's got this sense to her that she just knows me more than I know myself. And she just said, you're not happy. Because, at that point, CRG, we had 30 executives. Wow. So my co-founder and myself, and I was trying to stay active in the business, but I was working out of a headquarters office with a computer. Like that, I didn't see people. I wasn't in the restaurants. And so for me, it just kind of took a lot of that love and fun out of it. And, when you're not doing it just for the money, money was great at that time. And, my wife's like, you got to do what you love. I was like, well, what's that? What am I going to do? I mean, I go into one of these restaurants and start managing it. She's like, no, build your own restaurant. And so I was like, it never occurred to me. I had concepts that I wanted to and do within our organization. But she's like, talk with your partner and let him know. And, I sat down with my co-founder and he's like, yeah, I've noticed that you haven't been fulfilled. And, why do you think I'm never around here? This isn't my dream. It's many people's dreams now. Our dream became all these other people's dreams, which is a beautiful thing. And that's just the evolution of businesses as they scale. But I never wanted to have 30, 40, 50 restaurants. That wasn't my dream. My dream was to do full service experiential dining and be in and around those businesses and have like all of my worlds collide in these businesses. And so that's what I started to do. I started to craft that plan with, my wife's blessing and help, and she knew it was going to be a lot of hours again, because at that point I'd gotten to where I didn't have to work all those crazy hours. But let me tell you, I'm having the time of my life. Joe Gigante, my partner, who I just absolutely love, and now Andrew Wright from Franklin Street, who's been like a mentor to me, has decided to come in and throw his infrastructure and team up with us. And he just said to me last week, he's like, I never thought I was going to love hospitality like you love it. And he's super excited to get in. But we're building iconic spaces in Tampa, and I'm so proud to be bringing Union New American, that's been announced on the West Shore District. That's coming up in November, and then we're about to make a big announcement. And then maybe I'll break with you first.
Yes, oh, I would
Not
love
right
that.
now,
Okay, all right.
but soon.
Okay.
But another big iconic brand that we're going to be building that'll open up spring of next year. And then we've got 2 other brands that we're working right now, and so we're looking for spaces for them. So I'll have 5 underneath Next Level brands within the next 3 years.
Amazing. And Forbici, I have to say, in Hyde Park, and nothing against the other restaurants that were in that location.
Correct.
But every single one had failed.
Yes.
Because I do.
There have been 7 restaurants in the past 15 years in that space.
And they've all not
They all did
until
not fare
yours.
well. I mean,
then
we're
you're
only
like,
2 years old,
but
so
it's
God willing,
willing.
but we're on a great foundation. It's become quickly kind of like a fan favorite. People are loving us. We're doing weddings, and we're doing rehearsal dinners, and we're doing baby showers, and we're doing 14-year-old birthday parties. And
yes.
we've just been so warmly embraced by the community. And it's truly one of my proudest achievements. I mean, I get emotional because it was always in my head, and now to actually walk in there every day, my partner and I said, we can't wait to get back. So that can't be work, can it?
Right. It's your
I mean, I can't wait to get there and see everybody, and I'm so proud to say, get the meatballs or try the Impossible Burger. It's unbelievable. And so I'm super excited. So I'm on my path. I've done tons of other businesses as well. And, for me, the true essence is building great organizations and building businesses from scratch. You come up with an idea, and then you put into place the processes and systems to build these organizations. So that's what I'm really passionate about.
Well, you're an amazing person, and you build up people as well. I can't even thank you enough for being on the record. And I would also, I know that you are extremely close to your mom, and I know you did lose
Love
your mom.
her. I did lose her, yep, in 2005, but she's with me every single day. And I just know, Jeffrey, this is beautiful. I hear her in my ear all the time, and I know she's there with my kids and my wife, and that's why it's so important to have legacy and to do things with purpose and let our younger generations, when they're off of Snapchat, look and see what mom's doing, what dad's doing, and just so they know the framework is limitless for them. They can do anything they set their mind up to. And I'm honored to be here to tell you the story.
No, thank you. And I would like to dedicate this show to your mom.
Oh, thank you. Now you're going to, okay. So let me just try not to get choked up here, but no, I appreciate it. I pretty much dedicate everything I do in her memory, because she was such an impactful person, and she was a pioneer in her time. So I appreciate that, and super proud to be walking this path and having her shine down from above.
Well, we are, again, thank you so much for coming on the record. And thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow me on so many social media platforms. Jeff, do you not love this? I did not realize it was like until the guys built it for me. I'm like, what?
Gosh.
I'm like, on all those things? And that doesn't even count about the iHeartRadio and all this other stuff. So I'm so grateful for that.
So hopefully we'll have more than 20 views of this series. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Follow me. I've just cracked the 2,000 followers mark. Yes,
so it's awesome.
I'm trying to get up to your status, but one of these days I'll get there. But it's it's good. Social media and all this stuff is so crazy nowadays. But thank you for having me. It's been an honor, and I'm super proud of what you're building here.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Bye.